Bible says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. Because if I don't forgive, then I won't be forgiven. And if I'm not forgiven, then my sins are being held against me. And I'm praying for help, but I'm being imprisoned because of my sins. I'm not being forgiven because of my unforgiveness. And so, as you're in your prison, there are two things that happen. The Bible says when Jesus told that parable, not only were they thrown into the dungeon or into the prison, but tormentors were loosed on the man. Tormentors. Do you know that you can be imprisoned in your finances? You can be imprisoned that no matter what you do, you can't get ahead. No matter what you do, you can't prosper. No matter what you do, you can barely survive. That is a sign that you could be in prison. But the tormentors come next. And that's the anxiety and the fear. Do you know the Bible says that fear has torment? And so not only are you imprisoned in your marriage, in your finances, in your health. Not only are you imprisoned in your life, in your relationships, and even in your ministry. Not only are you imprisoned, but tormentors are loosed on you. The tormentors are what bring on the low self-worth. Tormentors are what brings on the loneliness and the rejection. Tormentors are what brings on the depression. Oh, some of you are taking medication for something that you can free yourself from the inside out. You are stuck in a prison and that you can free yourself from apart from the medication. You see, it's one thing that when you're in prison, when you can't get out of a situation, you can't change it, no matter how much effort, no matter how much zeal and fire and prayer, you can't change the situation. But then there are the tormentors, and those tormentors are just torturers, and they come to torture your thoughts, to torture your thinking. Oh, you can be in prison, but you can feel low. Someone can be in prison in their health, but then when the tormentors come, you feel down and depressed and left out. You can be tortured. You could be in prison in that you can't seem to get a relationship. No one seems to want you. You can't seem to find anyone. But then you can be tormented with loneliness. That's when the tormentors are loosed, you see. And so the dungeon, the prison is one thing, but then the torment is something else entirely. It is how you relate to your prison life. It's how you relate to your dungeon. It's your relationship. It's how you feel about it. It's how you feel about you. And as long as you live in the dark, how many know that darkness is the devil's territory? The Bible says that the devil comes but to steal, kill, and destroy. He can't come into the light. He has to get me to come out of the light. And so he'll send someone to make me angry. He'll send someone that'll get on my nerves, someone that I resent. He'll send me the kind of personality that tries to control me, or the very kind of personality that I can't deal with. And as a result, I will be angry, I'll be resentful, I'll be standoffish, and I'll be imprisoned. The devil can't come into the light to fetch me out. He has to lure me into the darkness, and he does with the bait of resentment. Who is that person in your world that gets on your nerves more than anybody? The same kind of person. For everyone, it could be different. To someone, it could be a controller. To someone else, it could be a gossiper. To someone else still, it could be someone that betrays your confidence. For someone else still, you know who it is for you. And you'll find that you'll run into that personality over and over and over again. Is it someone that criticizes you and dogs you out? Is it someone that puts you down? Is it someone that has authority over you and that abuses that authority over you? The devil knows who it is, but so does God. He wants you to learn how to love through those personalities, because I don't know about you, but I'm not giving anybody the power to imprison me. And so you come and you can be ugly, but I'm going to stay in the light. I'm going to stay in the love of God and be free. How many know that when I forgive for me, not for you? I free myself. The prison of my own making is a cell that opens from the inside, and it locks from the inside. You can't force your way out. And not even God can break you out. You have to come out. You have to come out of the darkness and into the light. And when you do, you will discover liberty. You will discover freedom. You will discover a freedom that should have been natural for you from the very beginning. It wasn't supposed to be this hard to prosper. It wasn't supposed to be this hard to grow in your relationship and in your marriage and to have a good relationship with your children and your children's children. Relationship was not supposed to be so difficult. Ministry was not supposed to be so difficult, but you were imprisoned. But God is saying, come out. He can't come in, come out. He's not going to come into the darkness. He beckons you to come out into the light. Come out, child of God. Come out of your prison and forgive.